Hello everybody, welcome to the live stream tonight. This is Ryan just talking during this introduction because I need to read the cast list for the episodes we're premiering tonight, because I didn't do it when we recorded this, so I'm just going to do it real quick. So for episode 1 of season 3, we have the characters and voice actors. James Henderson, voiced by Corey Wong. Lieutenant Dan, voiced by Joseph Ranieri. Toothpick, voiced by Tyler Fine. Harold Gimp, voiced by Dean Klaus. Karak the Elementalist, voiced by Charles Johnson. Kimoshi, voiced by Michael Ortiz. Kelda the Kyrie Warrior, voiced by Rachel Averin. Sujuwa, voiced by Jose Wilkie. Mariko, voiced by Shay Franchini. Prime Water Elemental, voiced by Morgan Wolfson. Johnny Shotgun Sullivan, voiced by Mark Pierce. Mara Drudge, voiced by yours truly, me, Ryan. And then episode 2, James Henderson, voiced by Corey Wong. Lieutenant Dan, Joseph Ranieri. Harold Gimp, Dean Klaus. Ever Scarcarver, Charles Johnson. Gorillinators, voiced by Mr. Joe Crazy. Kelda the Kyrie Warrior, Rachel Averin. Raylan the Kyrie Warrior, Nicole Averin. Sujuwa, Jose Wilkie. Mariko, Shay Franchini. Prime Water Elemental, Morgan Wolfson. Otanashi, Priscilla Wilkie. Johnny Shotgun Sullivan, Mark Pierce. Canute Geert, Jason Rutherford. Liberia Slightfolly. Myself, Ryan Wilkie. Big thanks to everybody who volunteered for voice acting for Tales of Valhalla. Thank you guys so much. Hello everybody, welcome, good Wednesday night to you. We have a night for you folks. I tell you what, get excited because we are launching season 3, premiering it tonight. And I'm excited. Hello everybody, welcome to the live stream tonight. I am of course Ryan, the producer, director of Tales of Valhalla, the Aftermath Chronicles, which you can find on YouTube. Type Tales of Valhalla on the search bar, and we have tons of content there to watch. It is a stop-motion HeroScape adventure, and tonight I have some guest commentators, hosts, on with me tonight, Mr. Joe and Mr. Jason. Feel free to introduce yourselves. Joe, you go first.
All right, hi, I am Joe, aka Joe Crazy, for the YouTube channel, where I do HeroScape battle videos and some video game related stuff, short films, and yeah.
Yeah. And Joe's also a voice actor. He's voice act Gorillinators. He's going to be voice acting some of the characters in season 3 that we'll see in the future. So we'll probably certainly have him back on as commentator when we premiere other episodes. And then we have Jason as well. Jason, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield, and you can find me over on YouTube under Rocker Robotics. And I'm the guy that long time ago introduced Ryan to HeroScape in the first place. So it's my fault this all exists.
This Jason is fully responsible for not just the HeroScape part, but the filmmaking part too, because we did a lot of filmmaking things together in the early years, and I don't want to give away ages, but it's been a while. And Jason also does he also voice acts Geert in Tales of Valhalla, which is one of the Roman soldiers, and there is a sword. Although Geert carries a spear. But
I know, but you should have Roman Gladius on him somewhere. If he's a good proper centurion.
We'll go with the sword too. And
that's a costly piece to have.
He also voices Niguk Saw as well in the series. So the villain that everybody loves to hate in Tales of Valhalla, that is Jason, and it's just great having you guys on board tonight to start going through these episodes, episode 1 and episode 2 of Tales of Valhalla season 3. So launching this season, and it's just so great being here. Because it's been a lot of work, and I mean, you guys have seen like just some of the effort that has been put in it, and it's not been easy because I've had things with health issues and family things, children, and I mean, but I thank you guys so much for putting in the work that you have, the insight, your knowledge base with HeroScape. When it comes times when I've needed advice, because there have been a few times for that, and definitely in the future, look forward to working with you guys when it comes to future seasons. So very happy. Not going to cry too much because we have some episodes to watch, and Runtime is going to be about 20 minutes, so for everybody watching the live stream tonight, as you know, it is a pre-recorded live stream because my internet is stinky, so we have to pre-record these things, and so they're in like half-hour increments. So our first half-hour live stream tonight on our on Twitch, it will be just us, of course, introducing here and then watching the episodes with no commentary whatsoever. And then once the episode ends, the live stream will be switched off. Then after the that's part of the live stream is done, I'm going to ask you as an audience to wait 15-20 minutes, and then another half-hour live stream is going to post up, and that'll be us doing going through the episodes again and doing commentary on them, talking about them, going through these first 2 episodes of Tales of Valhalla. And so hyped up, really excited. And we will see you guys then on the flip side when we start doing commentary for the second half live stream. So let's start, and let's just roll that footage and start watching these episodes.
My name is Kurok. I come from the planet Eberron. I was born a prince and raised for a single purpose.
Alright, hello everybody, we're back, and this is part 2 of another live stream of the live stream that we did before, and all of you should have seen episodes 1 and 2 of Season 3. The hype is real. We are getting started with this. Yes, we are getting started with this. And I will have to say, for those of you who have not seen Season 2, Season 3 is probably very confusing to you. And I would recommend, and for those of you who are watching this on Tales of Valhalla YouTube, I will have a link in the description below of the full playlist of Season 2 to catch to anybody who hasn't seen Season 2 to get caught up, because it is really important to watch Season 2 to understand what's going on in Season 3. And for those of you watching this on the live stream tonight, same for you. Go to, Tales of Valhalla YouTube, type Tales of Valhalla in our search bar, or in YouTube search bar, and go to our site there, find playlist, and just go to TOV Season 2, and you'll see the whole playlist of the season to catch up, and then you'll be able to understand Season 3 more and get going that way. And so we are going to get started with commentary. We're going to be going through these episodes again, and just to talk about them a little bit, about the characters, development, goofy things. And I'm just going to start it, let's see here, right now. And we get started first with Kurok introduction. This is how I decided to start everything, just by giving a little bit of character plot development for Kurok, because Kurok being the main villain of the series, and just to kind of give an indicator of what's going to happen at the end of Season 3. When you kind of need to know what's going on with Kurok here, and so it kind of gives an insight of his power level, his control over the elementals, a little bit about his past.
Yeah, he is an absolute beast.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely seems to be the villain that the series needs to definitely ramp up the tensity.
Right. I mean, we got villains galore throughout this, but he's definitely the main protagonist. And this type of color, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but this type of color that Kurok was using for his staff, we haven't seen that before. That's actually a different power level of staff color, because we've only seen him control the fire elemental, and that provides it's a little bit more redder, and the kind of white clearness of that power level that we won't see until the end of Season 3 for Kurok, because it's meant to summon and control an entirely different elemental altogether. And those of you versed in HeroScape probably knows what that elemental is. I'm not going to give anything away though right now. Although I can say ice elemental and you guys probably know that. But yeah, Jason, go ahead.
I want to ask the video editing question. How many elements are in that glowing effect right there? Does that actually look really, really good? How many visual effect elements do you have there? Different assets.
You mean what it took to make the elements invisible?
No, the glowing effect on his staff.
Oh.
Like the glow and then the chromatic aberration behind it. How many different visual effect elements you got going there?
I think about like 3 or 4.
That's not bad. I would have expected a little bit more, actually.
There's some layers to it. I like to keep it simple with it because I don't want to go too extravagant if I don't have to. And it's the same with when he's like doing his magic staff at the end of season 2. I think the special effects elements was probably about like 4 or 5 worth.
Yeah, definitely less is more, for sure, with that scene.
Right. Right, and what really sells it is the sound effect, though. You know, I wanted something very piercing, and just to give that element of very much magic strength there. Now we're coming up to here, and we have a meeting of bad guys, and where we see how established Kimoshi Kimoshi is gonna play a lot bigger role in this season, which I wanted that. And so we have, 2 villains kind of like alliancing themselves, and so each will have their own hidden agendas, of course, in the series. But anyway,
the bad guy, they didn't have a hidden agenda, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And so, as a emergency vehicle drives by my house, so we're back to good guys, because we're basically we're right back where we left off in season 2, where Airborne Elite and company are still in the jungle on the border of the Valkyrian wastelands, trying to figure out how to get through this as quickly as possible, and so they camped out overnight to think about it, to scout out the area, and this is what the Airborne Elite are talking about right now when we look at them, and they're talking. And Lieutenant Dan is back to his usual self. He had a little bit of PTSD there at the end of season 2, a little bit, but he's basically his Lieutenant Dan self now.
I just love the production quality in this shot, and they just have they're just so crisp. Each one of them is just so crisp in this shot. It looks so good.
It's amazing what I can pull for a Canon T3i too. It's not a new camera, and it just does so well. Plus adding loots to it at the end, really pops out the color as well for them. And I like to show Lieutenant Dan's overconfidence in this when he says, build a bridge, cross a lava pit. Build a bridge, cross the lava pit. He's just trying to make him, more confident than he is, because, that kind of plays into the, satire of it.
Absolutely.
But, and we got to recall when it comes to this plot, they're still trying to recover from the fact that they've lost Toothpick, they've lost the air elemental, so they currently, as far as their quest progression, they only have the water elemental, which is connected to Mariko currently. And so Mariko is going through her own set of changes, is trying to figure out, how to work the power that's within her. Caldo's still trying to figure out, okay, how do I lead everybody still through this? And they're still trying to figure out how to work with each other as a team. So, it's not as in-depth as I would like it to be in the story, because, again, we're focusing more on satire here, but I still try to make them, build themselves as a team cohesively as possible throughout, the season.
Nah, you definitely pull it off, too. I think you definitely, over time, seeing these characters go from season 1 to now 3 is it definitely feels everyone's a little bit more organized, a little bit more accommodating, and not everyone's trying to pull their teeth out and pull their hair out and go after their throats because of like sure you have the airborne elite, these four main characters, but
That do
they're
that.
like this ragtag team of like morons, and then you have everyone else like actual sane characters come and
Right.
join them,
They
and now they're trying to be a little bit more
try to give some
accommodating
sanity
to everybody.
Yeah, try to give some
Yeah.
sanity. Oh, there still is a bit of craziness because we have now Sujoa here. Because the solution, I thought this was a fun thing to do. The solution is just have everybody minus Kelda ride Sujoa over the Volcanic wastelands, which isn't something you expect in Hero Escape. And that's kind of mentioned here too, because Henderson mentioned this is against the rules of play, and so that's kind of like a kind of a hidden joke for Hero Escape players, because you definitely wouldn't do that in Hero Escape. Have miniatures ride Sujoa over anything.
I don't have Sujo. Does he have carry?
I don't think he does. I know that, but there's some
Okay.
there's some
doesn't really
miniatures
matter
that
anyway.
have carry ability, but it doesn't matter. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Can you explain the story behind that creature's voice that I asked you about earlier?
Yes.
That is okay. You tell the story for.
Yeah, no, I'll talk about it in a second. So, well, first off here, so now the episode's about to end, and we just see here Toothpick, who is in his prison being guarded by Morrow there. So that is the end of episode 1, and so we'll get into episode 2 here. And so yeah, I'll discuss about the Sujoa voice as well as Zedekron voices linked. They're voiced by my son. And I got the audio when he was about 6-7 months old, and he just learned how to cry a little bit, and it was getting annoying, so I decided to put him in front of a microphone and be like, well, I'm taking this and I'm going to use it. And so yes, youngest voice actor in our production team was my son at 6 months old, and got that Sujoa sounding voice and got the Zedekron sounding voice. Both sound just uniquely wonderful. I'll alter them a little bit, of course, but they just sound really good for that.
No, definitely beautiful idea.
It really fits the character, and it just sounds like a robotic. Sujoa's a robotic insect, right? Make sure I remember the character right.
I'm not sure.
Not robotic?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
I know that Aquila, I think raised Sujoa up into the big dragonfly that Sujoa ends up being.
Okay, ignore the robotic part now. I forgot.
Oh, and I forgot to say that I was starting episode 2, but it is started. Sorry, guys.
What timestamp are you on?
We're at 1 minute and 25.
Okay.
No, let me actually 1 minute and 29. I just stopped it for a second. All right, so at 1 minute 29, starting now.
We all thank you for your
Beautiful.
help, Sujoa.
Sorry about that. So yeah, and loved a little bit of comedy about like Lieutenant Dan and Gimp kind of panicking when they're riding Sujoa as well, and those were late voiceovers coming in, because I had the idea like later on when I started editing everything, like it'd be fun to have them actually panicking while, even though they are airborne elite, they're used to being in the air. They're not used to being in the air while riding a big dragonfly bug. So fun little bit of comedy thrown in there.
That is something the Sarge drills in us all the time.
I love the high ground trees in the background. They are high ground, correct?
Right, and we start seeing this a lot more in season 3, and we will as the season progresses. Like we see a little bit here in this new area that they're kind of looking at in the from far away, like lava tiles and rock tiles and such. But yeah, we're integrating a lot of high ground tiles into season 3 as far as trains and stuff go. And you see that a little bit too in the teaser trailer.
Do you have a hard time trying to fit the tiles into your sets?
Not it's not as difficult as it could be. There are like how to put it like hero connectors, like hero escape connectors that you can print out that connects the hero escape tiles with the high ground terrains. So there's ways you can integrate them, match them together.
Gotcha.
Mariku, watch the backs.
Yeah, but even this shot here, it looks great with having the dead tree and then
Yeah,
you have
the
the live
trees.
trees and the
Yep.
stump. It's a great contrast.
Yep. Oh, the 3D prints are just so nice.
All the foolish.
I mean, I love the design of high ground terrains, and just their variety. Just the variety of. I mean, they have like mine shaft terrain. They have sand terrain. They have lava terrain. They have rock. They have a coliseum for. They have tree forts for crying out loud. And we'll see a lot of those coming up. I mean, later on in the season.
It just fits the art style real well.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, lava terrains here we see in this wide shot. Now for this area that the Airborne Elite are coming into that seems to be deserted, this is the same area you see at the end of Season 2 where you have soldiers from Vidar taking out a bunch of Morrow. And so this is the same area that now the Airborne Elite are going into, and they're going to be encountering the same Vidar characters. And so we're going to see them clash a little bit. So this is a little bit of a fight scene that we get to see in this that's coming up. But still, we have to have a little bit of setup, a little bit of satire to where we have kind of like Lieutenant Dan and Gimp saying almost the same lines of Geert and Lightfolly. So we can kind of throw Geert and Lightfolly in there a little bit, which is going to happen now in a few seconds. There we go. And of course, Geert being voiced by Jason, Lightfolly being voiced by myself. And so we see them for a few seconds.
Does sound very familiar.
Yeah, and just it's a little bit of satire to bring them in. And then at the end of the episode, we will see a little bit more of Geert and Lightfolly, and as well as into episode 3 and into the season, Geert and Lightfolly will be a lot more central characters into the season, and I really like their character progression close to the end of season 3. Especially, they're one of the last characters you're going to see at the end of season 3, and it's just a huge joke at the end of it. It'll be hilarious, but yeah, I love their characters and their progression in the series. But anyway,
That's
yes.
exciting.
So we have the Airborne Elite being ambushed, and I like when Lieutenant Dan says, we only have one life, kind of indicating that the Airborne Elite technically only have one life point in there. So I try to throw a lot of hidden HeroScape jokes as I possibly can. Anybody who play HeroScape would most likely get it. Just because I like to nod to the HeroScape community as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. You
Because
got
like anyone that doesn't know the game, is watching this, they think, oh, it's stop motion, it's just custom characters. They don't mean I don't know the game.
Right.
But for normal HeroScape fans, it's the game. That's
Right.
what's HeroScape. But for when you're listening to the writing of it and how creative you are with your scripts, it definitely is a wonderful nod.
Now, and I try to reach towards that demographic too, the HeroScape player demographic, as much as possible, for sure. Now, I just wanted to say that for that ambush shot where you have Otonashi trying to stab Mariko in the back, and then the water elemental comes out, blocks the hit, and then throws Otonashi, and then the water elemental becomes transparent again. That I actually described in one of my live streams how that shot was done. It was pretty simple. It involves more practical than special effects, really.
Hold your fire.
But I had that
Show them your
shot in mind a long time before I animated it.
Otonashi. Yes,
So I knew what I was looking for. I actually did that shot 3 different ways, and I chose the best angle, the best shot for what I ended up ultimately using it for.
You are trespassing
Oh, wow.
Vidar's territory.
And there's Gorilla Naders, voiced by Mr. Joe. Crazy there. Just a little bit. We have him say, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
Another production.
Yeah.
How
So,
so?
like if you go back about 30 seconds, we had the little dodge shot with the one agent there. Was that a case where we had multiple copies of the same figure, just bent different ways,
Yes.
swapping in and out or something?
Yes, I figured I'd make
Yeah.
use of that to kind of give like almost like a Matrix dodge type thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Which
do
is, of
That was
course,
nice.
part of their ability as well.
right. I wanted to kind of do a little bit more with the special effects, but I'm just like, again, simple is usually better, and so I just kept it simple, and I didn't have much time to get too extravagant on it, so it works for what it is.
Oh,
Sells
it
the
works
shot
perfectly.
Thank you.
We're simply passing. Like I believe that.
And now here we have, interesting, so we introduced Evar Scarcarver, who, I mean, spoiler, we will see him later on in Season 3. As well as Otanashi, which she only appears in this episode, but we kind of develop a little bit of a rivalry between Otanashi and Mariko, which we might explore in future seasons. It's just something I wanted to set up and establish, in this episode. Just something to potentially, as a film, I could play with possibly in the future. Because as we will be closing a lot of plot, a lot of plots in the series. I wanted to keep some stuff open though as well, just so people had something to look forward to possibly in a few years.
I now know who you are, Moriko.
And of course, Otanashi is voiced by my wonderful wife, Priscilla. And then Mariko is voiced by a friend of mine from Specs, Specs Howard being a broadcasting school that a lot of people, quite a few voice actors I have in Tales of Valhalla used to be Specs Howard broadcasting school classmates. And she is one of them. And actually, she just got married and she just had a baby. So it's like, yay, congratulations to you, Shay.
Like your companion
So happy for you.
just said, gender whips. I really cannot say what we are doing here.
That is enough.
Can you answer that question, Ryan? Why is there a piece of wall in the middle of nowhere that we have to guard?
One more
The wall spires is a big mystery because there's 4 of them, and we kind of like emphasize that right at the end of season 3,
Again someday. Then we will see who is
and so that will be explored later. But there is a purpose for the wall spires, for sure.
Fair enough. I will allow that as an answer. The non-answer.
And again, someone is upset in the background there of my house. But I have a 3-year-old. What do you expect? Okay, and so we come back here to Geert and Light Folly at the end. Doing what they do best is just talking about their situation and just arguing about nonsense.
Don't you think with my superior sharp vision I would have noticed if someone was spying on us?
But so we have the kicker at the end here.
Intruders!
We have Raylan and Sergeant Drake Alexander that come into the scene,
You soldiers are under new orders.
and Raylan, of course, takes charge. And so we will see in the next episode, episode 3.
He does have a gladius on his side there.
Okay, cool. He's got a sword then. That's awesome. So we'll see in the next, like in episode 3, what's actually going to happen between Raylan, Drake Alexander, Geert, and Light Folly, and how that relationship is going to be established between them. Because how does these characters from 2 different factions get together? And they're not exactly on good terms with each other either. Einar is kind of like isolated by themselves. So we'll see. That's more to look forward to in the future for sure. So that's it. Those are the episodes. So tell me, what do you guys think? Any more thoughts, questions about is the hype real? Let me just ask that first.
Oh yeah. Man, the production quality looks so good. I'm looking forward to this story that you're going to be unfolding to us. Oh, this looks great, Ryan. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're definitely good looking episodes. Definitely say the story moves things along. I think it's going in a good direction for season 3.
Yeah, definitely want to close them. Like I said, definitely want to develop things, close things, get things to like a zenith, and then let it disperse from there. Because I want the audience to be very much satisfied at the end that something was accomplished at the end of this to finalize the story arc for season 3. Because technically there's a story. It's like the elemental story arc basically, for these 3 seasons. Season 1, not so much, although it does introduce, at the end. It's more about the Airborne Elite than anything, but definitely all of them together, it creates that story arc of the quest for the elementals. So, like established in the beginning, like we got Kurok and Kimoshi teaming up. We have the Airborne Elite and Company starting to travel, making their way to try and rescue Toothpick, because Toothpick is captured by the Morrow. And we encounter some Vidar, some characters from Vidar here. We might see some of them in future episodes later on in the season. We'll see. And then we also have Geert and Lightfolly, which, I mean, they've kind of been outside of the story, but now it looks like they're going to be actually very much in the story arc in the future, since Raylan and Sergeant Drake Alexander are coming into their bubble, and we're going to see how that bubble is going to burst, because quite technically there is an elemental that is in their area. It's the Earth. It's the Earth elemental, and so Geert and Lightfolly are going to be tossed up in this conflict, whether they like it or not. For sure. So yeah, so that's technically what's going on, and so we'll see how the story unfolds in the future, and I guess that's what I got to say about that. And for those of you who are watching this on a live stream, again, this is a pre-recorded live stream, so if you have been commenting, I probably have been monitoring this live stream, so if you said hi, I will say hi back in the comments if you're commenting on Twitch or Facebook, and thanks for watching. And I guess I'll just start closing things down, because time flies when you're having fun, and we're just about out of time for this live stream. So I will say one thing, and I'll have you guys promote your stuff one more time before we get off, and there'll be links in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube for Jason and Joe's stuff. But I will say, for when it comes to Tales of Valhalla, because we have merch. See, I have a shirt right here, Explodiarmus t-shirt. We have like t-shirts and other wonderful gear. Go to www.cptov.store, and any purchases of merchandise, any proceeds will go towards establishing a budget for us for future seasons. So the more support I get, the more I'll be able to plan things quicker and get things done and get things doled out faster, and hopefully it won't take 7 years to get another trilogy of seasons out in the future. So, and plus the merchandise is good. It's good stuff. So let's have you guys promote your stuff, 30 seconds, Joe.
Yeah, so Joe Crazy 3193 is my YouTube channel. I got Heroescape Battle content on there. We do some tournaments. There's some video game stuff. I play video games. I write and direct short films as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing some more followers on there. And I just wanted to say real quick, I was looking at your store. I'm digging the sweatshirt and the one T-shirt here that says "Middle of Nowhere."
Yeah, that's Jason.
I love it.
That's Jason's Gearance line. Yep.
I love
That's
it.
my T-shirt. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. There's some cool lines. We'll probably be releasing another T-shirt with another line in the future as well, too, because I want to expand that, as often as I have time able to. And then Jason, go ahead and plug your stuff.
I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. You can find me on YouTube over at Rocker Robotics, and thanks for having me, Ryan, for my half a dozen lines of input of questions that I mostly know the answers to. So I'll let you guys actually figure out which ones I know the answer to.
Wonderful commentary, and it's just great to have you guys on. Like I said, both Jason and Joe have put in a good amount of time for voice acting for these characters in the series, and quite honestly, I couldn't do it without you and the 30 plus other people that have volunteered their time for this. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you guys so much for helping with this. You really put a lot of life into this universe, so I thank you immensely. And so with that, for those of you who are watching this, on the live stream. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll say what I always say when I end the live streams. If you're watching this video on our Tales of Valhalla YouTube page, this is a very edited down version of what is almost, well, I'd say about 40 minutes long worth of content of our premiere of Tales of Valhalla episodes 1 and 2 of season 3. If you want to see the full amount of everything that we talk about, discuss within these episodes, ourselves, introductions, go to, you'll find the full version on our Conduct Productions YouTube page, which should be in the screen in front of you, or a link in the description below. And all links and descriptions and stuff, find a link in the description below, or on Tales of Valhalla YouTube page. And like, subscribe, share, because we are just getting started. This season 3 is just getting started, and we will be producing more, premiering more as soon as we can. And with that, for those of you who live stream next week, we'll be back to editing, getting episode 3 edited, and we'll start be doing editing production of that. And so I'll see you guys next week for that. So later, have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time again. And thank you again, Joe and Jason, for joining me.
Pleasure as always.
Yep. Have a good Wednesday night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.